Well, guys, we got some problems here tonight. What I'm hoping for here is that somebody finds this video out in YouTube universe, somebody much smarter than me, and can give me a hand here. We got a leaking pond, and I'm not really sure what to do. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the farm, and we thank you for joining us as always. What you're taking a look at here behind me is, well, it's a slowly leaking pond. We first started noticing the issue a couple days ago. My first thought obviously is, man, is it just that dry? You really start to think about that type of stuff. But then I got thinking a little deeper. We have never seen our pond drop to this level. I mean, take a look, guys. You can see on the bank, you see that's good several, a foot. It's dropped a foot. So I got thinking a little more. I started walking around and I think I found the issue. However, I have no idea how to fix this. So this is where I'm reaching out to you guys here tonight. I really could use some help. Somebody out there, I'm no pond engineer, somebody hopefully finds this video and can kind of point me in a direction. I am going to take you over on the other side and I'm going to show you kind of what I think is going on and what I can maybe do to fix it. But hopefully somebody can save me from making a catastrophic mistake if it's not the right thing. So it did take us a few days to actually realize kind of what was going on here. At this time of year, the ponds do tend to drop a little bit, especially when you get a little dry patch. It's also been very hot and humid, so you get a lot of evaporation coming up. However, this is a spring-fed pond. It doesn't really get that low, and it actually has been a very wet spring and summer. We've had inches upon inches of rain. There was a point earlier this summer where I think it was about 13 Saturdays in a row where we had actually substantial rain. So a pond like this that's spring fed and we have plenty of water coming from our source, which actually supplies our house as well, that's still running strong. So as soon as you start to kind of put the pieces together, you realize you got something going on. So there's definitely some positive to this. I think we definitely avoided the worst case scenario, which would be some sort of leak in the walls of your pond. I think that would be pretty much catastrophic at this point because I don't really know how we would seal that back up. Again, I don't have a ton of experience with ponds, but it's definitely not the case because what we actually found, the old drainage overflow pipe, whatever you want to call it, has started to break away here. And that is our issue. Now, what I'm asking you guys is how do we go about fixing something like this? I do question how this was designed. It's pretty much a thin piece of metal as a drain pipe. I do know that water and metal don't mix over the long haul. So basically what happened here is this was rusted out. You can see this thing is, it's so flimsy, it's unbelievable. And what's underneath here, there's actually kind of like a rubberized membrane. So I can kind of understand why that would be in there. I'm not sure how it takes the shape or how they got it into shape, as you can see down in there. But the metal, I guess you would say collar on top, that's kind of silly in my eyes. As you can see here, it's kind of flaking away. Look at this, guys. It is so rusted and busted up. Essentially what is happening here is, your pipe should sit where my hand is. And now that there's a big hole in the side, it's dropping the level of your pond. So the good thing, again, is that the walls of the pond, everything here is good. So it's really not going to get much lower than what we have going on here. But needless to say, we need to get this fixed. You can kind of see where the water level sits as you kind of pan around the banks here. A couple years ago when we got this place, we did actually put in a concrete overflow down here on this corner. To be honest with you guys, I don't think this pipe was actually low enough. I think it was a little too high because the water tended to go over the overflow before it went down the pipe. Now that there's a hole blown in the side of it, obviously that changes things. And again, to put things into perspective, the water should be, all the way up to about here where my hand is. So you're talking, we probably lost about a foot in here. Again, the water's stagnant, which you don't want. Obviously there are fish in here. It is still spring fed. So over on this corner here, the spring is still flowing in strong, but obviously that water is just flowing right through and going down the pipe. So how are we gonna fix this thing? Well, I'm hoping you guys can help me out. Here's my idea. So I'm gonna pitch you this one. Basically, my thought originally was to kind of get some of this stuff ripped away. And to be honest, I was thinking about plugging it with concrete, relying on our concrete overflow in the corner. I got to reading, a little bit concerned that over time, your banks can erode. It can wash that area even wider than what it already is. Essentially, if you're off the concrete, you're going to get some erosion on the outsides and so forth. All stuff that can be kind of managed as long as you're paying attention to it, but still something that kind of made me second guess. The second idea I had is kind of a modification of just pouring concrete down this hole, cleaning it out, thinking about putting, I'll call it a 4-inch piece of PVC down with maybe an elbow as long as I can fit it in there. It does go down kind of on a right angle. Getting it down there, getting some stone at the base of it. That way I don't mistakenly plug the hole up that I'm putting down there, and then filling it with concrete. So at least then I have a kind of a makeshift, a new pipe. Yes, it won't be as large, but in theory, I think it would at least do something as far as controlling the water once it gets up to a certain level. We obviously at that point would still rely on the overflow on the side of the pond, but I don't know. So that's where I need you guys to help me out here. I mean, really what it comes down to is you start messing around with the concrete, you pour a couple bags down here, you block it up, and if something doesn't work or it continues to leak, those type of errors are catastrophic. So I definitely want to make sure we have the right idea in mind. Again, anybody that's ever dealt with a pond or an issue like this with a broken pipe, please comment below, because I'm really not sure what else to do. In theory, yes, you could somehow fit a pipe in there and use some sort of water-based adhesive to kind of seal it back up. But this thing is so busted up, this metal, this rubber, I mean, Lord knows how old this stuff is. So I don't really know how I'm gonna get it to shape, but I am curious. As far as any sort of timeline, I would like to get this done as soon as possible. Obviously, you don't want your water levels to be low too long, but I can confidently say that this pond's not gonna go dry. As long as the water isn't gushing over that pipe and it stays at that level, we're really not gonna lose any more. We're maybe about 4 foot out there in the center. It's not a really deep pond to begin with, but again, you start messing with stagnant water, you start getting all sorts of other crap growing up in there. It really starts to deteriorate the quality of your pond. So something we want to get addressed here for sure. And again, guys, just giving you a look at how far this has come down. It's pretty crazy because I have never seen it. We've been on this property now for 6 years. Never once been even close to this low. Obviously, this is an important piece of our property. Sitting down here below the house is very important to us and kind of makes the setting. We also can use this for some other use cases, I should say, as far as pumping water or anything like that. It's always good to have ponds on your property. Got some little fish in here, some bass, some sunnies. So definitely an important thing to me to get this thing corrected. And one last time, this is where I'm really leaning on you guys, the audience, some of my small 2,000 plus subscribers, which I do want to pause and just say thank you for that. We recently passed 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is just mind-blowing to me. To think somebody would really tune in and subscribe and somewhat consistently watch a small homesteader farmer really kind of find my learning curve. Raising sheep, raising pigs, all that crazy stuff. Watching me deal with leaking ponds, having no idea. Watching me tell stories about animals dying. All the craziness that we do here on the homestead. It's just crazy that somebody would tune into this and be part of this journey. So again, we do thank you for that. Definitely really appreciate your support. So hopefully we can leverage that a little bit, and you guys might know somebody that knows somebody that, again, might be a little bit smarter than me and can help me fix my leaking pond. So again, guys, we really appreciate all the support out there. Drop us some comments below. Any thoughts you may have, we're definitely happy to consider. And I'm really excited to kind of figure something out here and show you guys the update, and hopefully one of you guys provide the solution. That would be pretty cool to shout one of you guys out that somebody out there in the YouTube universe helped me fix my pond. So again, guys, thanks for watching. We will be with you soon. Take care. Have a great night.